Hello guys, here are the best PvP dinos in Ark right now. The Pteranodon. A great first tame, it's pretty good in picking players, and a good way of killing players after picking them is by dropping them and spinning them into the ground. This will add extra fall damage, even if they parachute they can still get damage. You can also use a Pteranodon for rocket running. Equip your rocket launcher and instantly get on the back of your dino. You will see that your character has the rocket launcher already out. This will equip it faster after you hop off. You get ready for whatever you want to rocket run. Go in, C-spin, hop off and spam. Oh, since there are no turrets shooting, the rocket went kind of far. The rocket will explode instantly because of the heavy shooting it, so it would have blown the Argentavis. The Archer really carries the early game, especially because of its good weight. It's great for farming early game. It should hit by itself. There we go. It does go faster if you have two people. One guy on the Archer, one guy on the Anki. You also have the Smithy saddle, which is really convenient, especially early game if you don't have a base set up yet. The Archer is also really powerful in early game PvP. It doesn't have the strong pick like the Pteranodon, because his mobility is a bit worse. But if you pick someone, you can bite them in your claws to death. If you go straight up and move a bit, it will make it harder for the enemy to grapple out and it harder for his teammates to pick you. If you reach a certain high limit, he cannot grapple to the ground anymore. The wannabe Maywing. This beast has the speed and a good amount of weight. It can farm a good amount of berries, but if there is someone on the ground, you can spam your right click to keep hitting them with this area attack. So the wannabe Maywing is really good to get drops and to get around the map. Also, one of the best abilities this guy has is enable nursing. If you enable it, you have to enable it. The Maywing will feed the babies as long as the correct food is in the inventory of the Maywing. The Griffin. The Griffin is of course one of the best PvP dinos. It has a good amount of speed of getting around the map, and his pick is really strong because of his mobility. You can of course dive in for a pick. If someone comes up behind you, you can jump and pick instantly. Also, what's really strong is the dive attack of the Griffin. You see that is 618 damage. With this is a 150 perfect tame. This is not even good melee. So especially against Wyverns, if you have good Griffins, your Griffin will destroy Wyverns. A great way of killing someone with a Griffin is by picking him, switching to a flamethrower, flame him, and then he's probably gonna grapple, so you just drop him and pick him. If he grapples, you just pick him again. And you just keep doing that until his flame stops, then you do it again. Then you drop him again, pick him, and flame him again. The Manararmr. This is one of the best support dinos because it has the really good freeze ability. As you can see here, this is a Griffin. It's frozen and look how long it's frozen for. One of your tribe mates on a Griffin or a Wyvern can easily pick that. You can also do this with Wyverns, but they unfreeze a little bit faster. He's frozen now, a Griffin could pick it. But he's already flying. It also does a good amount of damage, especially with good manas. Also, the mobility is great on the manas. If you want to freeze something that's high up in the air, freeze and then go A and D. You will stay in the air as long as you have stamina, of course. And you can freeze like Griffins or Wyverns in the air. The Snow Owl. First of all, it does the thermal vision. Turrets, players and dinos light up, so if there's like a player running from you, you can spot them a little bit easier. The Snow Owl can also be a great support dino in fights. If you dive bomb the ground, you can slow enemies down like quite a lot. As you can see, he is so slow. It does wear off kind of fast. You can also ice bomb, which will freeze them for a couple seconds. It will also heal them for a little bit, but it's not that much. The Snow Owl is also great for his healing ability. If you hold right click, it goes into healing. You can see the health bar going up for a bit. Healing does use a lot of stamina, so you need to level stamina for a good healing owl. The Snow Owl can also dive bomb quite well, because it's kind of tanky. You can have a good saddle on it. If you have like spot where turrets won't shoot you, you can just fly straight down. You will still get shot, but you can also all dive certain caves. If you dive in, if you land for a second and you press space, you will go really fast forward. If you dive caves, try to keep your head into the ceiling, because the turrets on players only cannot focus on your body, so they will not shoot you. Only turrets on players and tames will shoot you. And when you're in the back, you can see what damage you can do from there. The Wyverns. Now the Wyverns have a lot of similar abilities. Of course they have the pick. They can pick up to a stego. They have a pretty good base movement speed. Wyverns have the bite and also the C attack, which does knockback, and you can farm thatch and wood. If you do this with charcoal trees, you actually get a decent amount of charcoal. But what makes Wyverns different? They all have a different breath attack. The lightning wyvern is the most used wyvern in PvP. Of course, because this lightning does massive damage. You're gonna kill players in seconds. Your breath ability of your wyvern does not work on a wyvern with the similar type. So lightning does not work on lightning. If you're fighting a tech suitor with a lightning wyvern, you have to watch out with the beam, because if he tech punches you while you're beaming, you hop off and the lightning beam will kill you. Just bite first. If you can bite the tech suit guy and his tech suit breaks, then you can go for the lightning. Now we got the poison wyvern. You have these poison balls. Poison balls are really good for killing players. You can snipe people off the tames, especially if you come out of nowhere and you instantly just pop some poison balls on them without them seeing it. You can kill them in seconds. They won't even know what hit them. It is a little bit harder to kill people with them though, because if someone is running around, it's really hard to hit poison balls. Of course, a lot harder than hitting a lightning beam. For base defense, you can poison ball players off Stegos. If you can kill the Stagorata, that's great. One thing that I love to do with poison wyverns is, let's say that's an active fob, fly straight at it, shoot a couple poison balls, and then move out without getting shot or getting shot a couple times. You can actually poison the box. Even if they're in the box, they die. Poison goes through the box. If you sprint and shoot, it goes further than if you stand still and shoot. You see, that one hit the wall. This one didn't even come close. The Ice Wyvern. This is also a great support dino. You can freeze enemies for your teammates. He's very slow for a very long time. Look at the move. Your Charmants can easily pick him if you slow him like this. It is a lot easier to freeze people in the air instead of using the mana or the snowball. And you can also pick yourself. So you could freeze someone and then pick him yourself. Now last and least, the Fire Wyvern. The Fire Wyvern is not that used in late game PvP, but for early game PvP he is great. He is really good at killing players. The Quetzal. It has really good HP, also good weight, but it's not really used for farming anymore. The great thing about the Quetzal is you can build hidden sky bases with them. You can put anything you need on the sky Quetzal, make sure to place it as high as possible, but not too close to the top border. You need it a little bit underneath, otherwise your beds don't work and you cannot spawn on your Quetzal. You cannot put any forges on your Quetzal, but you can place a replicator, which is of course really nice. You have no defense, but it's all about being hidden. So make sure you place it somewhere where you think no one is gonna scout. Now, if you use this to defend your base, you obviously want to build a box on it, because the Quetzal can be used pretty well to pick Stegos. The Quetzal is also used for quetzing bases. It's not as OP as it used to be, because you had like hedge frames and stuff, you could make better builds, but it still somewhat works. You will get shot a bit more often than normal. It's a bit harder to Quetzal, but if someone builds poorly, you can still use it and you can place your C4. Okay, that's, if he does that, that's fucked up. Now for the attack helicopter. This is definitely the best flyer. It can even pick up Rexes. So if the enemies are pushing with attack Rex, you can pick it up. All you have to do is control and then left click. Be careful, because if you pick something, you will be slower with the dino in your hands. Also, these things are insanely tanky. Of course, this is not a good one. This is just a spawned in one. With imprint and good level, you have insane stats. To unlock the special abilities of the Rhino, you have to put sap in his inventory. This is sped up, but slowly the sap will turn into resin, which gives your Rhino some special abilities you can use, like resin armor. To activate it, it's left control and C. You will be protected by resin, meaning you will take even less damage from turrets, enemies, whatever. You're gonna be insanely tanky, especially with a good saddle. If you press right click and just hold it down, you can shoot these bubbles. This is one of the attacks, and every attack can slow people. Like this attack leaves puddles in the ground, which still does damage, but you can also see that the Stego cannot move. If those little circles above his head are full, then he's completely stuck. If he's not completely full, but there is some of him, he will get slowed. You also have a machine gun kind of. The homing missile uses a lot of resin. It uses 5 resin per shot, but you can aim and it literally becomes a homing missile. And with every hit, he's gonna be slowed a little bit more. And when he's fully hit, where the last circle goes... Oh, he died. Okay, well, he's supposed to be netted right now, but he didn't survive the last shot. I don't really use those turret modes in PvP though. What you also can do is pick up some structures. If you hold control, it will shine white. And if it shines white, you can press left click. That means you can pick up a structure. Yeah, this looks kind of insane. And if you hold left click, you can just place it wherever you want. That's how you can replace structures, because you cannot pick them up. You have the Tappy, especially with the tech saddle. It has an okay pick ability. It's kind of small, but you have good movement. Even early game, you can get some value out of it in PvP. The good part about the Tappy is of course the tech saddle. It is especially used to destroy jennies and tech turrets. The best way to do it is having a Stego soaking the turrets. You kind of want to go in and out of turret range. and kind of moving in a circular motion, so you get shot the least amount of times, while still being able to hit the turrets. Be careful, because the turret range is longer than your own tappy range. As you can see, I cannot shoot the tech here, but the tech can shoot me. So that's why you normally want a soaker in front of you, or if you have multiple tappies, or if there are not a lot of tech turrets, you can try to just go for it and kind of go in circular motion and shoot the tech turrets until it's destroyed. The Rock Drake. So not the best for PvP, but it is the only tame on Aberration with a tech saddle. So this is your only choice if you want to tech rifle some stuff down. Good thing about this is you can kind of cheese a little bit, not as good as you used to. You used to be able to just cheese tech turrets like this, but tech turrets that are on players and tames will shoot you here. So the best thing to do is throw carbos in here, so every turret on players and tames is distracted, and then pick your head up, and turrets will most likely not shoot you, maybe one or two will shoot you sometimes. But if the players and tames turrets are distracted, you can get some shot off and maybe destroy a gen or some tech turrets. Because players only turrets are not gonna shoot you because your player is hidden from the turrets. The Stego. The Stego is the best soaker. You wanna get this tame as fast as possible in the new wipe. Now you got multiple modes. You got Hardened, which is made for soaking. You got Heavy Plate, this is perfect for showing. If you hit people with them, you will see they are extremely slowed. Before you get picked, go into Heavy Plate and just hit the Wyvern or Rhino, Quetzal, whatever picks you, and they will get extremely slowed. With Sharpen, you can grab a tame. First of all, they will not be able to move. And second, their stamina will drain fast, and you do a decent amount of damage. So, when you're soaking with the Stego, back up as straight as you can into where the turrets are. This so the tech turrets do not splash your character. Hold H for having an extended UI. You can see your flag, so if you see your flag slowly breaking, then you know you're in a bad position, so you want to move. But in a cave, if you do have beer and a flag and some map brews, you can run into a cave. Even with tech turrets, you will get hit a bit, and you can try to rock it as much as you can before you die. The Turtle. Now, carbos are soakers that you want to either throw in or drop in. You want it to be shooting the shell. You can see 59 damage, and the turret shooting the head, 295. The Rock Golem. You can see a heavy turret does 26 damage, which is nothing. You can soak a lot with a good golem, with a good saddle. Heavy turrets won't do anything. But a tech turret does 375. So that's a huge difference. And tech rifles do a lot of damage compared to anything else. If you try to pressure people in the base, you can throw a rock from a distance, just watch out. If there are turrets shooting you, you will get shot off your golem, if the turrets are on players only. The Paracer. Now, this tanky boy is not used for soaking, but he's still not good at soaking because he has no damage reduction whatsoever. But the good thing about the Paracer is, his speed is okay, he is not too big and slow, but you can build structures on it. So that means your character will not get shot whatsoever. And you can do stuff like running up to attack gen and trying to rifle it before your Racer dies. Or walking up to heavy turrets or structures that you want to destroy and simply place a C4 next to it. Now, the Dreadnaught. The big brother. The Dreadnaught is a tanky boy. He's a ton of HP. This is just a 150 tamed. A good counter against Dreadnaughts are Thylas, or bleed dinos in general. But if you eat the Wyvern milk, you will actually become resistant to bleed damage. Make sure to build a box on it. A good way to counter the box is to rocket the box. The Dreadnaughts are great for pushing towers or pushing walls, especially because of the great HP and the big hitbox. So you can have tech rexes or mechs behind you while you're pushing a tower. Now we got the Yi-Ling. These are at the moment the best rocket burners in the game. But you run, space, space again, C, you go up, then you can rocket, or you can go through and go to a safe spot. Now the budget Yi-Ling. Now the Terrorbird is basically just a budget Yi-Ling. It's a bit smaller than a Yi-Ling, so it will fit in some places where a Yi-Ling can't fit. The Reaper King. The Reaper has a good amount of health. The Reaper has natural armor, which means he's quite tanky. So, especially early game, you can soak bases with a health Reaper. With good melee, they actually pack quite a punch. They have this little trick where, if you shoot, you can make flyers not able to fly. You can send any flyer to the ground, and there you can do whatever you want to do with them. And for players, if you have a good melee Reaper, this C-spin will do quite a lot of damage. Especially with a good health Reaper, you will kill people in whatever flag pretty damn quick. They can also jump quite high, so they're pretty mobile, especially for aberration of course. They're also great for base defense. If you fill them up with stone, they cannot move. You can put them on aggressive and they will shoot at the enemies or C-spin when they are close, which is great for base defense. The C-spin does a good amount of damage on players. It can kill someone in flank pretty easily, and it also does a ton of knockback, which is great for base defense. Also great, you can bury them so the enemies cannot see them. A little trick with a Buried Reaper is that it actually blocks cryopods. So if you can see, I cannot throw it. If you can see, you cannot throw it directly on it. This is especially useful in caves, but you can get a Tech Reaper out by Tech Punching it. The Thylacoleo. The Thyla does bleed damage, which means every hit an enemy takes is 5% of his health gone, which is OP against Soakers. Now this makes the Thyla the best tank killer, since it doesn't matter how much HP he has, 5% of the HP will be gone after every bite. This is why you want them aggressive in your cave, on your whatever platform you're building, and you always need to have a couple on hand, in base defense and in raiding. Now the Carno. Now the Carno also have bleed damage just like the Thyla. You can apply bleeding with the headbutt. Now overall the Thyla is a bit better at base defense, but Carnos are a lot thinner. So this means they can fit in some caves where Thylas cannot. They can also fit through door frames, which Thylas cannot. It's also the only option on aberration, since the Carno is the only bleeder there. If you want to build in the radiation zone, you need aberrant Carno since they can survive the radiation. Now the Therizino. This is a tame that's almost good at everything. His claws, ignore armor, do a lot of damage. His C attack is a headbutt which can kill people off their tames. So if there was a Stagger Rider on it right now, I would be hitting the Stagger Rider. So especially in caves, if you come around the corner and you hit someone with the claws a couple times, he will be dead. That's an easy kill. But also for farming. They farm wood really well. They can farm berries with the headbutt. And they can also get fiber with the tickle attack. If you want more wood, you have to level power harvesting. If you want more fiber, you have to level delicate harvesting. They're also great for bosses since they do a good amount of damage and have a good amount of health. And since the herbivores, they can have veggie cakes, which means they can heal during the boss fight. Against the dragon, they take reduced fire damage. The Velanosaur. Now, the Velo has a special ability that makes him able to shoot people. Also make them grounded. So when you shoot flyers, they will be forced to the ground. Now, if you sit on a Velo and you shoot, it does a good amount of damage, especially if you leveled melee and stamina. Like you can see, my stamina went down really fast. If you have leveled melee, you can see he does a ton of damage, which means he is really good in fighting in caves, for killing aggressive dinos or the enemy dinos that are trying to push. Also, you can put these on turret mode, but when they're on turret mode, when there's no one sitting on them, they will do a lot less damage. So they won't do as much, but they will still be very annoying to deal with. The Pyromane. Now the Pyromane is by far the strongest early game dino you can have. You have a dino with good melee, good HP, and really good resistance. If you tame this guy, you can instantly kill any dino there is, which makes starting out a lot easier. He is also pretty fast, which makes going around the map a lot easier if you don't have a flyer. And if there is a player, you can actually do flame damage to him. If you bite him or if you do the flame leap, you do a good amount of damage. If you kill something, you see this bar underneath. You build up that bar. If you hold your right click, you will leave a flame trail. And this flame trail actually does especially with melee leveled, you're gonna do a ton of damage. If you press Ctrl C, you will make a small and he will be put on your shoulder, which means you can bring him into caves where other dinos might not fit, which is really handy. And of course for PvP, if you get picked and you're dropping, you can just ride your Pyromane. And you're completely fine, because they don't take fall damage. A good tip also is, let's say you're flying here and there's a lightning wyvern trying to beam you. You go ride your Pyromane so your Pyromane gets hit by lightning beam and not you. The Arthopleura is a must-have for early game. If you go raiding, an Arthopleura can destroy everything. This will save you a lot of C4. It is 15 C4 for a vault and an Arthopleura can do it for free. So get yourself one early game. Make sure you go for the higher levels, because it's gonna save you a lot of time. The higher level, the more damage it does on structures. Now we got the T-Rex. Now, the Rex can still be used for boss fights because he has good melee and good HP. He's not really used for PvP otherwise, until you get a tech saddle. So, what is good about the Tech Rex? You cannot fly like the Tappy, but you do have a lot more HP than one. So if you have a Stagger Rider in front of you, you can easily just blast stack turrets while the Stego is soaking. But you gotta be careful because you are sitting higher than the Stego, so if there's turrets high up, it might shoot your character before it shoots the Stego. Also for 6x areas, you can kinda inch your Rex just to get a couple tech turrets down. And you might die off the Rex, you can have your Rex whistle to something back there, and your Rex will just walk out with a bit of damage. Now we got the Basilisk. Now this beast is really good at attacking and defending. Why? Because you got the poison balls. It works exactly the same as the poison wyvern, but you're on a tame that you can use in caves and has a lot more HP. And of course a saddle, which means it's not gonna get sniped as fast as a wyvern would. So it is really good for shooting down on your enemies, shooting stagger riders off. You can also bury it, and your enemies will not see this, by the way. This is completely invisible for your enemies. They have a good amount of weight, so you can put a lot of stuff in here. Back on AOC, we used to put all our FOB stuff in here. Now we got the crab. Now the crab is pretty versatile, but it's also a must-have tame. First, for farming, let's say you are overweight right now. You can drop your tame, move forward, pick it up, drop it, move forward, pick it up. If you keep repeating this, you can move with an ankylosed slot capped of metal. Now for PvP you can pick stuff up, so also enemy stegos, enemy carbos that are in your base, you can pick them up, have a Thyla bleed and water in your claws so your turrets don't shoot and they can't move. And for raiding you can throw your own tames into the enemy base. I showed you this before with carbos, but you can throw in your own carbos or maybe even your own teammates on stegos. Now we got the Deadon. Now the Deadon is used for healing. With your right click you will heal, like you can see on this Stego, but you will use a lot of your own food. Now let's speed it up real quick. You can do large groups, but the more tames, the more food the Deadon will use for healing. You can see we healed the paracer, but we lost a lot of food. You want to level your Deadon in food, and the best way to feed it is with cooked meat. But if you want your Deadon to eat it faster, you can go out of render, and then back in. And now it has eaten all the cooked meat it has. So if you have stacks and stacks of cooked meat in your Deadon and you're waiting for it to eat it all, just go out of render, go back into render, and it will have finished everything that you put into its inventory. And you can start healing all your tames again. The Purlovia. This is truly an underrated tame. These things are great for early game hiding your loot since they bury as well. You can get them out by hitting them with a torch, so watch out for that. But these things are also great for base defense. They're like a one-time mine. As you can see, it is like a one-time mine. You will get stunned for a long time. You don't get dismounted of stegos, but if you're on a Yi-Ling, you will get dismounted. The only problem with the Purlovia is they don't bury themselves after. So even if you go out of render, they will stay above ground. So they're like a one-time mine. The Yuty. Now the Yuty is mainly a support dino, because it gives buffs to your dinos. The yellow bar is how much you're buffing, so some of these larger creatures need multiple buffs to be fully buffed. Yeah, now they're fully buffed. A fully buffed dino takes like 25 seconds, was like 20 left. And what it does is 25% damage output and increased resistance. So the buff is great for if you're soaking with Stego, you will take a lot less damage, which is great. And with damage like this, you do 25% more. So it's great for boss fights, great for if you're Karcha or Giga fighting, whatever. But also the Yuty has a Pharaoh, which doesn't work on any dino. But a lot of smaller dinos it does. I just put this Yuty on turret mode. And I also put it, yeah. Watch how it frees me. Now, if you're freed, you cannot move for 20 seconds and your tame will move whatever direction it wants to. You cannot use weapons, and the dino will not respond to any of your commands. That's why having Yuties on turret mode is great for base defense, especially against snowballs and PTs or tappies that try to run into your base and destroy your stuff. The Giga. Now, the Giga does really good damage. But when you get damage, you see this rage meter to the right, this little heart. If it's full, because it takes too much damage in a short amount of time, it will rage, it will kick you off and just bite whatever it sees. So also your own tames and you. So you gotta be careful of the Giga getting damaged, because it will kill yourself and your tames around you. The Carchar. Now the Carchar is basically a better Giga. It kind of replaced them, sadly. If you kill stuff, like you can see the meter down here, you will build up a buff, which is called Blood Rage. The more tames you kill and the bigger you kill, it goes faster. Like you can see, if I kill this Pronto, it's gonna give me a lot more. Okay, it did not give that. It did not give that much more, but normally stronger tames give more. And the more you build this meter up, it can go up to 100. You will do more damage. Now the Karcha is better because it's faster. It doesn't rage. It has more stamina and it regens better. So because of the blood rage, boosted HP, regen and melee damage. Meaning simply I get more HP regen and more damage. So that's why you want to keep killing stuff and build the meter to 100. That's why the card is especially used for drops and just overall PvP. Now if you kill a dino, let's see if I can, you get a temporary speed boost. And you're immune to stunts. Now it also has the spin attack, but I'd say biting is a lot stronger this time. For underwater tames, first we got the Megalodon. He's the underwater bleeder, so he does the same bleed damage as the Thylacoleo, but then underwater. So it is used for killing tanks and putting them all aggressive in your base. But also the Megalodon can have a tech saddle, which is great for underwater raids. I've used this a lot. So you can have a Bassie in front of you soaking while you try to shoot some tech turrets. The problem is you cannot back up. So it's a bit scarier to use a Megalodon than like a Rex or a Tappy, because you can just fly backwards. Yeah, the Megalodon can't do that. What we also love to do is whistle our Megalodon to a safe tame, just going in, pretty blasting a couple tech turrets in like easy underwater. And then when we die off the Megalodon will simply swim back, most of the time surviving. But if you whistle it into 100 turrets, then it's probably not gonna survive. So you need to soak a bit or destroy a bit first before you can do that. Now we got the Basilo. Basilos are the tanks underwater. On small tribes, I'm pretty sure they have over 700k HP. So they are the soakers. To soak, you want to either be above turrets and swimming in circles. Leave me alone, sir. You can basically soak like this without hitting your character. Always check your flag. Hold H to see your flag HP. If it drops, you gotta move. If you have to soak turrets that are in front of you, you want to go straight up so your character is away from the turrets. This way you can soak. Or if you're above a cave, let's say there's a cave under me right now, like a cave entrance, you can go straight down from above and soak like that. You can put your head into the ceiling, the ground or the wall. This way none of the turrets can actually shoot you and only turrets on players and tames will shoot the Bassie. A nice little trick we used is put a C4 on the Bassie's head. We swim into easy underwater like this. The C4 will not blow up because the turrets cannot shoot it. And let's say you're right next to a heavy turret. You can poke your head out and one of the heavy turrets will shoot the C4. And the C4 will blow up. Or just have a friend outside waiting with the C4 and just blowing it up. The Tuso. It's basically a Giga underwater. It does a really good amount of damage. You can also pick tames with them. All you do is hold right click and you will pick whatever is in front of you. You can also bite while having them in your claws. You will also do torpor. You can even knock stuff out like this. It just takes really long. But you can also knock players out. If they don't have a lot of fortitude, they will knock out pretty fast. But biting will do a lot of damage as well. You will probably kill them before. The Tuso has a pretty big hit range, so it's great for spamming entrances or trying to kill a lot of aggressive dinos that are like behind a wall or something. Also, the C attack releases ink. Let's see. There we go. Everyone in that ink will be slowed and blinded, and it gives you a little speed boost. So it's great for escaping or for simply going around the map, because if you just press C the whole time, you will get speed boost. It will make going around the map so much faster. The Baryonyx. The Baryonyx is one of the strongest defense dinos. His damage and his speed are not that special, but the OP part is the right click. You can knock people off their tames and stun them for like 15 seconds. It's a long time. But you have to hit the character. So if you're fighting like a Tuso, you have to make sure that you go through the saddle so you can actually hit the player with the tail. You will knock him off and give him a big timer that he can't move. For some reason it's not the... Oh, there you go. You were stunned for almost 10 seconds. You cannot move at all. Next up, we got the Xyphactinus? X-Fish. Now, people don't really write these, but they're great for having on follow if you're doing anything. These things are OP. You always want to have these if you're raiding, if you're defending your base. Because if you don't have them, your enemies will. And it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck bad. Let's see how long it takes for these to attack. Okay, but they have a pack buff. The max pack buff is 8, but since not always close to each other, like this one is further away, so it's not part of the 8 buff here, have like minimal of 10. If you have like 10 of these on follow, you can destroy any other tame that you whistle it on. It is great for if you're soaking with a Bessie. Have these on the follow. If they try to counter you with a shark or something, you just whistle these on the shark and the shark is gonna die. Same with if you're fighting Tusos with your own Tuso, have these. These will get the enemy Tuso stuck and will just completely destroy them. Thanks for watching, guys. This is a type of video I never really made before, so it's not gonna be perfect. There's probably a lot I have to improve to make these videos actually good. So any feedback is welcome. Thanks for watching. See you next time.